And y'all know how I do. Y'all know how I do when I pop up. I feel really, really good. It's been a good week so far. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith. We live from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Shouts out to everybody out there. Um, I hope y'all fruiting up at a high level. Please share this pop-up live. It's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be a very, very interesting pop-up live. It's a special one for me because we're welcoming back. We're welcoming back someone that I become very, very fond of on the internet, and someone who's become a very, very special friend to me. And I just can't wait to have this conversation, family. We just gonna get straight to it. So get everything together, get your juice, get your fruit, and we're gonna welcome Mrs. Lashay Taylor. What's going on, Queen? How you feeling?
I'm great. I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to see you. Looking good, looking good. Long time no see.
Right. Hold on. Let me do not disturb my screen because of course. Uh yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm doing good. We out here. We back
We out
out
here.
here. We out here. We are
That's
out
right.
here. I had to go on a little sabbatical, as you know. I just needed some time off of the metaverse. The metaverse can be a very wild place. It can be very overwhelming, especially when you're a person like myself who is extremely introverted. I am a very introverted person, right? Like, I'm one of those people love being around me and they cool, but I would I would prefer to be alone. And that's just how I am. But the funny part about that is like the social aspect of my life is social media because even in real life I don't spend a lot of time with a lot of people. I'm very private. I love my peace. I just love doing me. So the most social interaction I typically get is when I'm online, when I do social media. So I love this space.
Mm.
I don't not appreciate the space. I do appreciate the space if it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for Facebook, if it wasn't for online, I really wouldn't even like be that special, I swear, because like otherwise nobody is really ever around me. So I get to be my most authentic self like when I am in this space, but
Mhm.
I'm like learning how to like be comfortable with having the spotlight and being a person that other people like seek or want to be around while also like learning how to like still maintain the amount of space needed for me to have some sanity because online, especially in the space that we're in, when it's about health and it's about eating clean and weight loss and vitality and getting your life back, the world that we live in is like so the opposite of that. Like everything is so messed up in this world that everybody's just trying to get back to like, okay, so it's not normal to be sick. I'm supposed to be feeling good in my body. All right. Like, so everybody's trying to get back to normal, not no, what's normalized, but what's normal.
Right,
So
right.
everybody's trying to get back to normal. Everybody trying to get back to God. Everybody trying to get back to health. Everybody trying to get back to their higher selves. So it's like when we're living that life and we're sharing it, we're attracting that. So there is no there is no shortage of people who need to get their shit together, who need to do better, who want to do better. So when we're attracting these influx of people, it can be very overwhelming. So for
Mm,
me, it's like I don't mind helping people, but I was also in a place like when I had just left the internet, I was in a place where like I needed to help myself. I wasn't completely balanced myself. So it was overwhelming trying to figure my stuff out while also being like thrown into other people's problems and like reading dissertations on what's wrong with them and then them seeking me as some sort of guidance system. And I'm okay with that, but at the same time, I was also trying to deal with my own shit. So I just was like, okay, I love you, but bye. And then I
mm.
just randomly deactivated Facebook, had like a whole ass mental breakdown, ended up getting into therapy, um, a whole bunch of stuff. But like, I am in a way better place than I started, and I'm really grateful for everything that I've been through because it led me up to this point. And now I'm kind of like supercharged, and I'm ready to get back into this space, far more balanced, knowing how much of myself to give so that I'm not doing too much. And yeah,
And that's, you know what? It's so crazy that we having this conversation because you, me, and Tiff Moore had a conversation. I think it was in like September, and we was talking like the difficulties of like being online and how hard this shit is, and like being stuck in cycles. Like, let's talk about a couple reasons that drew you offline, and like talk about that decision to go offline. Like, how easy or difficult was that?
I'm an introvert. That shit was easy as hell. When I logged off of Line, it was almost like it's like, okay, I was skinny as hell. I was probably like 115 pounds, but I felt 300 pounds. And
Mm.
that, that extra weight was pressure of the demand on my time, demand on my thank you, Terry. um, demand on my time, demand on my energy. Like there was just like this pressure to perform because I was also battling what do they call that? What do they call that syndrome?
Oh, you talking
Imposter
about imposter
syndrome.
syndrome? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like my life, the aesthetics, everything looks all good. I had just moved into my new luxury loft apartment, and the pictures people see of that I post every day of like all my fruit, these big luxurious fruit hauls, and there's just this aspect of my life of like how it looks versus how it is. So like, yeah, I felt it started off like, okay, I was doing a lot of this for my health because was experiencing a lot of health issues at one point in my life.
Hmm.
So this is why I got into it, and I achieved a decent amount of progress on my health journey, but at the same time, I was still struggling with food addiction. I was still like high key, like doing really like decently, like doing fruit challenges, right? We're doing 30-day fruit challenges. We're hosting the challenges. I feel like there is this expectation for me to be perfect. So I'm thinking I have to be perfect. So when I wasn't perfect, when I did end up like ordering some food on DoorDash, some like vegan burger with fries, I'm over here eating that shit with mad guilt, you know? So like I'm eating that shit, guilt like a motherfucker. Like I'm just like over there eating that shit, putting extra ketchup on it. I'm looking at that ketchup got high fructose corn syrup on it. I'm like, but I'm over here, the next day, posting the big ass luxurious picture of grapes I don't even want to eat. Like I don't want
Fact.
that shit. Like because I'm still dealing with a food addiction like a mofo. So like
Mm.
that started creating feelings of imposter syndrome inside of me. So when I was posting things, I was also feeling like okay, but like, is this even really who I am? Like, am I posting this to inspire people? Am I doing this for likes? Am I doing it for attention? And this and that. It was just like the expectations I set for myself were super high. Um, and the battle of the highs and the lows of like detoxification process and eating some vegan junk food and then retoxing again, that was creating this emotional a motorcycle emotional roller coaster
Mhm.
inside of me. And it was starting to become a struggle, and it was starting to lead to like this like disordered eating thinking pattern. Like, I wasn't disordered eating, like I didn't have an eating disorder. My problem wasn't food. Like, I wasn't scared of gaining weight. It wasn't like a fear of food, so to speak, but it was a
Mhm.
fear of like unhealthy food, because I was so afraid that like I was going to re-trigger certain um symptoms in my body that I've made so much progress on my health journey. So it was just like a whole bunch of things. So like when I deactivated, it literally felt like weight lifted off me, and I felt like I could like continue on with my health journey without all the eyes and
Mm.
like that like expectation to be perfect, I guess, from
Fact.
myself. I don't think anybody ever wanted me to be perfect, but I felt like I needed to be perfect in order to be in like this place of leadership where people are seeking me out and where I'm getting this like gaining a follower base and like all this new attention. Like, I'm not used
Mhm.
to popularity. I'm not used to like being known. I'm not used to being seen because I've always been introverted and I never mind playing the background. But at the same time, like, I'm also learning how to get out of that mindset too. You know, like, why
Fact.
be the background? Why be the person behind the scenes? Why be afraid to be seen? It's like, so like I'm relearning a whole bunch of stuff right now, but getting offline was not hard for me. It's actually my comfort zone. And I don't think I'm going to grow by hiding myself. And
Mm.
that's why I came back, and this is the bravest thing I'm doing. Is hopping on a pop-up live with somebody like you with a platform as massive as yours, putting myself out there and being vulnerable.
And you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I'm proud of you because it take a lot of strength to tell people like, hey, I got to take a step back from this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling this. I ain't really living like this. How many people do you think or do you know that's dealing with that same type of energy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I see a lot of people online who just like that, who stay in cycles and then got to be on here performing like they not in cycles. Is that like, is that something that you came across before that you seen? What would you tell somebody who going through that right now?
I would tell them to just be their self, because everybody that we're seeing, especially in this space, in this health space, and this like fruitarianism, raw vegan, like however you want to like label it, most of these people out here, they aren't more special than you. They don't have something you don't have. They just have, I guess they just have a bit more courage. They're
Mm,
just not as scared as you are to put yourself out there. They're willing to just try it. They're just a little bit more brave. That's all they have. The only difference is courage. Outside of that, they're not smarter than you. They're not more disciplined than you. They're not greater than you in any way. Their background doesn't make a difference on how they are or how they got to where they are. Or, you know, like, the only difference between you and them is the fact that I guess they just like whatever drives them to put themselves out there is the difference maker.
mm,
But
mm,
if you're in and out of cycles and you're having a hard time being in this space because of those cycles, and you're judging yourself for it, you think that there is something wrong with you or any of that, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Like, the only thing to fear, who said this? Woodrow Wilson. The only thing to fear is fear itself. Fear is the only thing that ever keeps us from being our greatest selves, from being the greatest version of who we are. Like the it's fear. The
Mm,
fear is an umbrella. And under that umbrella of fear is like the different variations of what represents as fear, which is doubt, overthinking, self sabotage, negative self talk, all these things that constantly go on only inside of our minds, the things that only we perceive. Nobody else can see it. You can walk outside right now and have a barrage of negativity going on in your head. And because it's going on in your head, you'll have insecurities about it. And the insecurities lead to projection. So you're projecting how you feel on the inside into the world, but the world doesn't actually see what you're projecting. Only you do. Only you experience that. So we walk around treating people poorly or not able to make eye contact or like not able to be who we want to be, our true authentic selves, because we're judging ourselves based on only the things that we can perceive. Nobody sees that besides you.
mm,
So keep
mm.
that in mind as you're going through life. That when you're having a hard time or you think somebody's judging you, if you think somebody feel a way about you, you going around being defensive, that's only a you thing. Nobody else knows that. Nobody else feels that way. So I would just say if you are experiencing that, realize that that is only a you thing and it's an inside job ultimately. And just start doing the inside work.
Mm,
Start reframing. Start changing the story. Start objectifying your mind. Your mind, just objectify it. Those thoughts, objectify them because they're not real. So even those feelings that you have inside, objectify them. They're not real. They are
right.
objects. So you can literally stand outside of your own mind, even if you're feeling sad, even if you're feeling overwhelmed, all of this, objectify that sadness, right? The thoughts that cloak that sadness and think to yourself, that's not real. It's just a thought. I can literally just like be like, why are you thinking like that right now? Let's just replace that thought. Let's replace that thought with the exact opposite of
Mm.
that thought. And like, it's really that simple. But
That's
we
it.
have to start doing that work. You know,
That's
that's
something.
doing the inside job.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's one of them things that I'll be saying is it's difficult to do simple things. You know what I mean? To get in the headspace of telling yourself to redirect that thought, get off of that frequency, change your vibe. That's a difficult thing to do. I'm amazed though, because like you said, you were sitting around eating vegan food, feeling bad for yourself. Do you know how many women I talk to right now who say, I just can't get it? I'm stuck in the cycle. I'm eating bad food at nighttime. I just can't get over this. What are some of the things you did to get out of the cycle of the actual cycle and the mental cycle that come with?
I stopped judging myself. Literally, that's all it took. Was I had to learn how to stop judging myself. Because when you judge yourself and you tell yourself all of these negative things, first of all, we have to realize that what we're doing is not wrong or right. It's just what we're doing. So once we stop acting like we're some special breed of dumb or some special breed, like some special breed of idiot, or some special breed of undisciplined, or some special breed of wrong. We got to stop acting like we some special breed of degeneracy. There's just
Mm,
nothing wrong with us. You know what's wrong with us? The society we were raised into. we are literally just a product of our environment, and we're computers, right? We're human computers. We are programmed to be exactly how we are, and it literally takes repetition to become exactly who you are today. We had to repeat. We not only repeat, we had to be taught, conditioned, learned. We had to like literally be taught everything that we are up until this point, and then it became a condition. We became conditioned to be how we are. We are like 30 years old, 40 years old, 20 years old, 15 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. We have been conditioned in repeating the same behavior for years and years and years and years and years and decades and decades. Like, we are just computers who are programmed. So there's nothing wrong with us. All we have to do is be intentional about unprogramming, deprogramming, but it takes time and it's not going to happen overnight. So it's about tracking habits. So for me, what was like a really helpful thing for me was I got a habit tracker, and I started tracking the habits that I wanted to change. So I don't, like, it wasn't perfect in the beginning. There would be 2 whole weeks of not doing that habit. But when I started looking at my behavior, like, damn, like, you really trying to track this behavior, but you really stuck in this like mind frame to where you really just keep doing this shit every single day for weeks. But then I got embarrassed by it. Like, okay, now this is just a choice. This ain't no damn habit. This is a choice. And then
Fact.
that's when the change starts. But it just starts with, like, in the very least, being mindful of the fact that you need to track it,
Mm.
which is basically you're just observing your behavior. It's almost like you're the god of your life. It's like the higher self is actually looking at the lower self, like, all right, bitch, really?
Mm.
So, like, so now it's like you start that way by just like really kind of analyzing your habits and like what you do. So it started with me. Like, that's how I initiated my change. So just like not judging myself. I stopped judging myself. And then what would I say? Like, after I stopped judging myself, it was also, there was a thought I had that's really important, but I can't even think of it. It'll come to me.
Mm.
But I'll just keep it at that. I stopped judging myself. I just realized that I'm human and that everything that I did in my life up until that point was the same exact goddamn thing. And now I live downtown and the music be loud as hell
Facts.
coming down here. um, I just realized that my habits is not my fault. My habits is how I was raised, and then I had to stop judging myself as a bad person for having those habits. But I knew I wanted to change, and I knew that in order to start changing, I had to start reprogramming. And the reprogramming is just by doing as much as you can every single day over time. So
Facts.
that's what I would tell people, to just stop judging themselves and for them to realize that there's nothing wrong with them. They just have to unlearn and relearn and reprogram. And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. I've been on my health journey since 2020. It's 4 years from now, and I'm still on my health journey.
Facts. Facts. I think that, you know what I think it is? Excuse me. I think it's that perfection mentality. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the disease that a lot of people going through in the community. And one of the things and the ways to get out of that is to learn how to do better eating and better things. Like, so what have you changed? What's a day in the life now? Like, what have you got control under? Like, what you feeling good about?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. You be asking the best questions. Okay,
Indeed.
fruit up till five.
Mm,
Fruit up
talk
till
about it.
5. Fruit up till 5. That, okay, so outside of judging myself, right? That was the mindset aspect of it. Now, when you have a plan in life and now you have to create a strategy on how you want to change, not non-judgment was the emotional aspect of it. It was like the sociological aspect of it, mind and heart alignment, right? but you have a body. That's the mind, the heart, and you have your body. You have your physical vessel that carries out all the acts of who you're going to be. The physical act I had to start performing that shifted and it aided in the lack of judgment in myself because it was about progress and not perfection was fruit up till 5. When
Mm.
I stopped making it a goal to be 100% raw, 100% fruit based, and living this every day, telling myself, well, you have health issues, and the only way you're going to get better is if you cleanse and you detox, and you have to eat all fruit, and you have to be perfect because God made this food, and nothing else makes sense, and comparing myself to what everybody else is doing, and then feeling inadequate when I fall off because habits die hard. It
Facts.
was when I allowed myself grace. It's when I allowed myself to not be perfect. And I was like, you know what? I can eat anything before fucking 5 p.m. So if a bitch can't eat fucking fruit until 5 p.m., that is not addiction, bro. Like, you're a straight up crackhead. Like, you're a heroin addict. Like, there's something wrong with you if you can't suspend really bad habits just for until the first half of the day, and then you can do whatever you want. And like that feeling of knowing, okay, whatever, I can eat whatever I want after 5 o'clock. For some reason, that made it so much easier to just push through
Mm.
until that time frame.
Mm.
Like that fruit up till 5, that shit is powerful because let me tell you something. Before that, I was self-sabotaging by 11 in the morning. I
Mm.
was self-sabotaging by 1 o'clock because I had a perfectionist mind state. But because I knew I didn't have to be perfect and I could be imperfect after 5, that's when I started to realize that like 2, 3 weeks into fruit up till 5, I was like, yo, it's mad. Like I was actually starting to feel really good physically. My discipline had increased. Like I already knew what I was eating. It was simple. I have my herbs first thing in the morning. I have my water. I drink water now. Before, when I was trying to be a perfect fruitarian, I wasn't drinking water because, all the dogma in this community about how you don't need water and water is dead. And what changed me is because even though I haven't been like on social media, I still was following your interviews on YouTube. So
Mm.
I watched your YouTube with Lauren Lockman,
Mm.
and that shit was powerful. Cause like you know what? As soon as I started drinking more water, it was like crazy how I felt, how much better I felt. Like less joint pain, more clarity, more energy. So like before noon, I have at least 64 ounces of water. I'll have
Mm.
a glass of herbal tea, a cup of herbal tea, period. And then after 12 o'clock, between 12 and 6, 12 and 5, that's my eating window to have as much fruit as I want. And
Mm.
then after 5 p.m., I have a whole food, plant based cooked meal. And that's not even every single night. Sometimes I'll just continue to have fruit for the rest of the day. Sometimes I'll have like just like a raw vegan meal. But if I want to have like a clean, because before, right, when I was trying to be a perfect fruitarian or a perfect raw
Mhm.
vegan, I never bought food to cook at home. So when I did have these crazy cravings that I would like cave into, that I would succumb to, I would order that food out.
Yeah.
So it would be I'm door dashing or I'm grub hubbing from local vegan spots. I don't know what their cooking practices are. I don't know if they're using oils. I don't know if they're, like canola oil. I don't know what kind of sauces they're using, if they're using like high fructose corn syrup and all of these additives. I don't know what kind of salts they're using. Like 9 out of 10 times they're using sodium chloride, which is like that real dehydrating manufacturing crap. So like when you allow yourself to cook, because now when you're allowing yourself to eat cooked food, now it's like at least I put myself in charge of the cooked food that I do eat. So now
Mhm.
I know if I am going to use oil, I'm going to use like the right types of oils. Like if I am going to use any sauces, I'm going to make them from scratch. Like I'm not going to go and buy commercialized sauces with like all these extra genetically modified ingredients and things like that. So be eating like a whole food plant-based cooked meal at night, like now I get to cook again. I get a lot of joy. I actually forgot how much I loved to cook. I love creating meals. I love cuisine. I love being creative in the kitchen. So it's like now when I do cook, I get to tap into that part of me. I feel like a regular person. Like I don't know, I can't explain it, but like this lifestyle is about progress and not perfection. And because we were trying to be perfect, because we're trying to follow the prototype of all of these other people in the community, like I don't care how they live. Like it probably took them 15 years to get to that point to have that kind of discipline. This kind of shit don't happen overnight. So
Hey, you know what? You breaking a lot of chains right now because that that mentality of and people, this is I did not know nothing about her about to say fruit up till 5. Like that's the
okay,
real
that's
deal.
true. That's this
That's
ain't a
the real
setup.
deal.
But that's what I've been doing. I've been eating nothing but fruit. Actually, so the intention for me was raw till 4, but like you had said fruit up till 5 a while ago, and I was like, you know what? Why not just like since fruit is the perfect food, why not just eat all fruit? And then I pushed it an hour, and then after that, whatever is fair game. But I just make sure I eat healthy food.
Indeed, indeed. So like now that it's like I heard you just say like you feel like a regular human again. That's that that's that not suffering with the mentality I got to eat fruit all day. I got to eat fruit all day. One of the number one things I heard you say, and please everybody who listening to this, please take heed to this. Do not set yourself up for failure. You know one of the ways you would set yourself up for failure, like you said, thinking that you got to eat fruit all day, every day, and not being prepared to even cook your own food. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that's when you depend heavy on things that you don't need and that you really don't want. You doing it for convenience. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about how you feeling since you've made these changes. Like, what's the difference you feel like, since you got so much control over what your circumstances now?
I feel free. I don't feel like I've created this green cage. Like I was living in a green cage in my head. The
Mm,
perfect rawtarian, fruitarian, raw vegan cage. You know, trying to be super healthy, trying to eat the human diet. And like, yes, I believe that, right? But I
mm-hmm,
believe that life is a journey. We're like, life is a journey. Life is not like the things that we want to accomplish, we treat it like a destination. And because we're not at that destination while we're practicing it, we're constantly, literally on a freaking rat race to that destination. And when we stop on the race, and the stopping is the eating the imperfect thing, or whatever the case is, we, we check out, we go backwards. And then
mm,
it's like we're running on the opposite end of the rat of the wheel, you know?
mm-hmm,
So like I feel mentally, I'm not even talking about physically how I feel. Mentally is the biggest thing for me. I don't give a fuck about how I feel physically right now. Actually, I feel great physically, but mentally,
in fact.
the only reason why I feel great physically is because I feel amazing mentally. I literally feel like I broke out of the green cage that I created in my brain. Like
Mm,
in this cage that I created, was like my own self-imposed standards of perfection, um, trying to be something that I didn't want to be, right? Like,
Facts.
I don't want to be a perfect fruitarian. I don't want to be a perfect raw vegan. I think you should be that when it's genuinely what you want for yourself. But if you're comparing yourself to Orville Douglas, if you're comparing yourself to freaking fully raw Christina, and you're comparing yourself to all of influencers, these influencers who have gone on record and said they eat cooked food too. And
Facts.
I'm not talking about Orville. Orville, he's the GOAT. Like, I actually aspire to be Orville when I'm 60. Shit.
Facts.
But
Shout out to
I ain't 60.
the OG. Facts. Facts.
I'm 36 years old. I'm gonna be
Hey,
37.
that is
When I'm
that is
40,
such a good point. That's such a good point. Like, or like these, like us, we 38, 39. Like, we don't have to be at that perfect level now, especially when you just getting into it. Like, I love what you doing for yourself. Like, please, like, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, you're right. It's levels. It's
Facts.
levels. We still live in the matrix.
Facts.
We still live in the matrix. Okay? We still have families. We still have people in our lives that we who expect us to show up at gatherings and like all of these things. There's still the holidays. There's still these aspects of society. Like, yeah, like we don't have to participate fully. We don't have to get into all of the antics and the culture of everything that goes on around us. Like, yes, still like be the change you want to see in the world. Still break the mold. Still be the standard. Still be that version of yourself. Like, um, break the generational curses. Still do that and be that person. But at the same time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having the sides, the vegan sides during Thanksgiving. Like, you don't have to feel like you gotta only eat fruit unless you want to. You
Facts.
know what I
Facts.
mean? So there's been times over the past couple of years, Thanksgiving, where I only had a watermelon and I was cool. Like, I was good. I felt good. Like, I was happy. But at the same time, when you're on your transition, you're in the beginning of your transition, don't be out here feeling like there's something wrong with you because you wasn't able to do what somebody been spending all their damn life doing.
Facts.
Like, it's just levels to it.
Facts.
And we
Facts.
at the beginning of the levels.
Mm.
We can't judge the goal that we want for ourselves, judge everything, judge our entire selves over how we're handling the transition of how we want to be in life. This is a becoming journey. You haven't became yet. You aren't there. And then once you get there, you just have new damn demons to conquer.
Facts.
Like new
Facts.
monsters to slay.
Facts.
So just like don't judge yourself so harshly. There's nothing wrong with you. And that's all I like. I'll constantly remind myself that like there's nothing wrong with you. But because we're like put on these pedestals, because we're seen as like leaders, because we're this and that, we feel like we have to be a certain type of way. And for me, I'm an attachment style. Like, I avoid my issues. So the easy thing for me was to deactivate and shut down. But
Mm.
like now it's like it allowed me the time to kind of work through my brain and help me figure out how I am the way I am or why I am the way I am. And now I can come into this space way more authentically and really share me, who I am, and be okay with me and accepting of myself. And I have zero desire to be perfect. I think on one of my latest Facebook posts, I said, I don't have no desire to be no fool. Like, y'all gonna see cooked meals that I make and everything. Like, I can't wait to be exactly like who I want to be and not who I am expected to be. And any
Mm.
perfect person who's following me, And then I see that bullshit on my timeline about how cooked food is poison and all of that. I'm blocking them niggas. Like,
Hey, you know what though? This is so real and so raw authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is what like when you stop self-sabotaging and you create a plan and take control of your life, what you learn is trying to be other people was always your problem. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to please the Joneses is always your problem. Stepping out, being who you are, cooking meals. Like, what's your favorite food to cook? Like, let's talk about it. Like, since you doing this, like what type of food do you eat? What type of food have you been cooking?
honestly, I like to keep it simple. Like, so when I eat fruit, I eat mono meals. So even though I love cooking, I'm not sitting up here making these like big, comprehensive whole food plant-based meals. Even though like I plan on doing that from time to
Right.
time, I like simplicity. So like I will literally just go and get something that's just like warm, grounding, comforting, and whole food plant-based. So on a regular day, I want something simple because I work like really long days. Like when I have like a really hard working day at work, I don't want to come home and be making no like full blown meal. Plus, I live alone. I don't got no kids. I don't got nobody to feed. Like so, beside myself. So like I'll just get like some baby fingerling potatoes, cut those up in half, lightly oil them in some like extra virgin olive oil, season them up, throw them in the oven. Like some asparagus, just like, season them up a little bit.
Mm.
Either sear them on the stove or throw them in the oven. Bake a sweet potato, throw it in the oven. So, like, it ain't nothing crazy and comprehensive. Trust me, it's just like a really regular, whole food, plant based, simple bake because it's easy. Throw it in the oven, something I can eat, get some nutrients from, and just like ground myself, be nice and comfortable. So I like what's simple. I like something that I can just like really quickly throw together and put in the oven because at the end of the day, no matter what, it's my goal to be healthy. I
Right.
still want to evolve past eating simply for pleasure. I want to eat to live. So I just want to make sure that I'm still eating what God has given us. But with that said, what I love about my flexibility more so is that I get to be a bit more unapologetically social when it comes to like, because like a huge part of when I had got off of offline, a huge part of um the mental health aspect of it was that I don't have a lot of close connections and like friendships and stuff because like I'm so introverted that I never really nurtured relationships, not even with my own family. So there was a lot of depression and sadness and loneliness on the other side of that. So I ended up joining a app called Bumble BFF, and Bumble BFF is basically like a dating app, but for friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And I've met like a handful of women on that website. And now I get to like go out to eat with them. And I'll like very selectively, like, I make my profile about how I'm like a raw vegan and like how I've changed my life. Like, I'm trying to attract still somewhat of a similar type of energy of people who at least want to be more health conscious and be like that positive influence on somebody or something. So, like, when I have made those local connections with the women in my community, when we go out to eat, we seek out like the vegan restaurants in the area. So now I get to like just be more social in that sense, like go out to eat and like so like it's just like my mind has expanded in that sense because before that I was like afraid of restaurants, like afraid to
Right.
go out, like fucking fear danger, like like acting like everything was just poisonous in life. But
That mentality will make everything poisonous. It's like it's sad in the day, don't it? And that's why, believe it or not, that's why, because I'm one of them people that you be talking about. Not even if it's indirectly. Like, because I was one of them people who advocate for fruit eating. And a lot of people come to me and be like, Bobby, how can I start eating like that? How can I start eating like that? And that's why I came up with fruit up till 5. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fruit up till 5 make way more sense than trying to just jump into all this fruit eating. And what it do is, with that, when people jump into the fruit eating, just jump into it, don't it bounce them right back into what they was doing? Like it put you in a deeper state of something tougher to come out of. So I commend you, like, taking the step back to say, let me look at myself. Let me take a step back. I ain't feeling right. I'm feeling like an imposter. You know what I'm saying? I can't teach people like this. Like that take a lot of courage and a lot of strength. And I think a lot of people online need to take heed to that message. Take a step back, evaluate your situation, and come out stronger. You look and your vibration is different. You know what I'm saying? And I can commend you on that because you don't say, oh, you have to eat all fruit to feel like this. This is coming from you taking control and making a decision to be your best version. And I commend you on that. And let's talk about how many women need to take that first step.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say outside of just like stop trying to be perfect and
Yes.
make this lifestyle your own. Like, do what you have to do personally as an individual to make this more sustainable for you. For you. Like, don't
Yes.
draw off of what I'm doing. Don't draw off of what your favorite influencer is doing. Don't draw off of like what Bobby's doing. Don't draw off of what nobody's doing. Like, okay, let me stop saying that. Draw off of what they're doing to a degree, right? So, like, if you see that there is a lot of success with eating living food, right? Because what we're doing, right? All we're doing is getting back to God. Our
Facts.
goal is to just like for generally speaking, everything that we do is we just getting back to God. We just getting back to earth. We just getting back to eating sun food again. We just getting back to the Garden of Eden. We just getting back to the essence. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Like we just
Facts.
getting back to what's real. So like ultimately all we doing is getting back to what's real. So get as close to what's real as possible. Like always make that your goal. Like the only way to be your most truest and authentic self is to is to get back into the practice of putting what is the most truest and authentic form of energy into your body because ultimately we need energy to live and food is energy. So the food that you eat, you have to draw that food from a highly energetic source. The only energetic source of food that is meant for human consumption will always be what comes from our mother earth, period.
Facts.
So
Facts.
we just need to eat fruits. We need to eat vegetables. We need to just eat whole food, plant based. I don't care if it's cooked. I don't care if it's raw. You just need to make sure that most of what you consume is coming from God, period. So, like, that's all I'm saying is let's start there. Your goal is to just get as close to what's God, what's true, what's pure, as soon as possible and as often as possible. That is really where your energy always needs to be headed toward. With that being said, you know who you are. You know what you love to eat. You know what your vices are. You know what makes this lifestyle an obstacle. This and that. I ain't saying you need to go cold turkey and quit anything. All I'm saying is that if there's one toxic habit that you have out of three toxic habits, choose one of the three and decide. You know what? I'm gonna start weaning myself off of that and make it a goal to completely eliminate that habit within the next 30 days. And you just start there. and you can do whatever you want outside of that one habit that you working on. And once you've successfully eliminated that habit, then you work on the second of the three, and then you work on the third of the three, and then after that, then you just start altering the lifestyle to where it's the easiest for you. So like it ain't about doing things perfectly. It's not about going cold turkey. It's not about all or nothing. It's just about being better. That's
Facts.
it. So
Facts.
just only compete with yourself. Be proud of yourself today if you had an apple for breakfast instead of a breakfast sandwich. Even if everything after that apple was everything else. If you didn't have an apple yesterday, but you had an apple today, that means you're a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday. And that's
Facts.
really how you should be scaling your success based on the decisions you were willing to make in order for you to be a better person. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just unlearning a lifetime of conditioning, and that's it.
And like you said, people know. People know when they feeling bad, when they not doing right, when they could be doing better. And that first step is being honest with yourself. You ain't gonna go nowhere in life if you keep lying to yourself. You're gonna keep being in the same cycle of lying to yourself. So I think very important is being real with yourself and where you at. If you know one of my favorite sayings is get up and make up your goddamn bed every goddamn
That
day. If you gotta be to work at 6 a.m., get up at 4 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. and rush into work. And watch how these simple things that you can control change your life. And it's been marvelous to see you come from, and it's been a short period of time. Like when you really buckle down and really make that decision to do what you want to do, it don't take long. When did you leave the internet? Like in September?
mhm.
And we right back at it already. And I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I have to tell you that I'm very proud of you. You sound a lot stronger. You sound like you said a lot more free in what you doing. And this you gonna be an advocate of you don't have to be a certain way to feel great. You
You
know what I'm
don't.
saying? You don't
And
have to
thank
be
you.
this way to be great. It's a million ways. It's a thousand ways to die, but I always say it's a thousand ways to live. And you've been proving that. Like, so what you got going on? What's going forward for you? What you got going on? How can people reach out to you? Are you helping, assisting others? What's going on with Lashay?
So I told myself when I was coming, I was very intentional about coming back on here when I reactivated. I actually didn't plan on doing it until April, and then I impulsively reactivated. Um, I told myself, number one, like my previous activity, a lot of people say that like I inspired them, and I believe that, like, but I didn't feel inspiring because, again, projection, right? All the stuff that was going on inside of me, I felt like that's how the world was viewing me, even though that's only how I was viewing myself, and having the imposter syndrome. This go round, I am very all about not shrinking myself and not caring about how people view me or what they think about me, and caring more about how I view myself and what I think about myself. And my timeline is real estate. I'm only here to provide value. So the energy that I am bringing online at this point is very intentional. I only, if it's gonna tear down a person, if it's gonna be negative, if it's gonna be like a rant, if it's gonna be something like that, I'm gonna be very intentional about not sharing it. I only want to bring value. I only want to inspire. I only want to say things that's going to reverberate good, positive energy. So that's how I'm bringing myself on my platform onto the internet. Right now, I created a website. It's my name. It's selfsabotaging.com. I am rebranding. I am now a coach. I am more so a mindset based coach. I'm helping people with their health. I'm helping people with their mindset, how they view themselves. I am helping people on a scale based on the things I struggled with when I was on my journey. And because I can only teach you as far as what I know, as far as from what I have personally experienced. So, right now, yeah, I created that website. It will always be in construction. Like right now, it's published. It's ready to go. But as I progress as a coach, you will see the contents change. Like I love to write. You're gonna see a whole lot more think pieces coming from me, in article form through blogs. I am helping people with their mindset. I'm helping people lose weight. I'm helping people gain a better health. I'm helping people in whatever way that I can help people. I just want to be here to help ultimately. I'm working on my YouTube channel and just putting myself out there more, being brave enough to speak, being brave enough to be heard, being not like learning how to break the barrier of fear of not putting myself out there because I feel like the only I'm doing God, like the purpose of God putting me here on this planet is to help people. So holding myself back is me not serving God. Otherwise, I'm being self serving, living in fear. The only person I serve living in fear is myself because that means I'm living in my comfort zone. If I live in my comfort zone, the only person that benefits is me. And it doesn't even really benefit me, it holds me back. So, um, I want to help people, and I don't want to help people to gain anything outside of my light spreading to someone else so that their light can spread to others because we're all here to raise the vibration of the earth, to raise the vibration of the frequency. We're all light beings. We all came here um, with purpose. We all had to be in the dark. We had to be buried like a seed in order to grow into who we are right now. And this is the time where we're activating ourselves. So we're watering those seeds. So if anybody is seeking a personal coach, if you're seeking, if you want a consultation, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing at this point. I'm still figuring out what the fuck I'm doing, honestly. Shit, I'm winging this shit every day. But we getting started. I can't hear you. Hold on. Is that just me?
Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
So like it's a learning process though,
Intentional
for
change.
everybody. And shouts out to my sister Latoya Bell. Um, like she said, keep me in your prayers with these seizures. Just one of those moments. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to you, Queen. Definitely get over that. Take care of yourself. Um, this is one of them things like the journey continues, but the journey has always been here. Like it's like you a testament to that the journey never ends. You know what I'm saying? Like you could come, you could be. It's all about what you think about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of my strongest mentality. What I feel about myself is the most important thing on the earth. And other people feel that. And I can tell that you feel really good about what you've done for yourself because it's radiating off of you. And so LashayTaylor.com for assistance. This is a rejuvenation. I mean, if you think about it, if you sitting around, if you struggling with thoughts of being perfect, thoughts of I gotta do things a certain way, break out of that shell. LashayTaylor.com. I appreciate you, Queen. You got anything else that you want to say to the people? The floor is all yours.
I mean, I don't have too much more to say outside of everything that I have already discussed, but thank you for having me, Bobby. I appreciate you. Regarding anybody else who is here today, listening to this live, who's struggling, like has who's dealing with whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? Right? Um, a lot of people will reach out to me talking about weight loss. I know weight loss is like a big thing in especially America, right? Because like they call it the standard American diet because the sad standard American diet leads to standard American diseases, and one of the most biggest comorbidities is obesity. So I have a lot of people always talking about how much weight they want, they like how much weight they've accumulated over time and how much weight that they want to lose. All I can tell you is stop thinking about how much weight you want to lose and start thinking about how much healthier you want to be and how much better you want to feel. Because when you start shifting it to, I just want to be a better version of myself, I just want to be like, I want to have vitality, I want to feel the highest I've ever been in my life, I want to have energy, I want to just like live life without ever thinking about anything besides just like spending time with my family and loving life and vibing high. I would say focus on eating high quality, high vibrational, high frequency food and just try your best to eat that more than you eat like crap. And I'm not saying to only eat high vibrational, I'm saying to just eat more high vibrational. And really, that's where it starts. Make it to where if even it's only 51% of your diet is better than uh, the lower vibrational food, that means that you're on your way and to constantly just try to be 1% better every single day. It's about like literally a journey. It is a journey. It's not about getting to the destination right away. So just like focus on being a better version of yourself, even if it's only by 0.5%, by like 50% the following day. It's not about being perfect. And you know what? You might have a day where everything you did was go completely spiral. Um, you spiral down like crazy one day after having like the best week. Like that's fine because you had like a really dope week. Like stop judging yourself. That's all I'm saying. So just know that there's nothing wrong with you. We just live in a really crazy society that was designed to like have us self-destruct. But now that we know better, we do better. So just do better. And that's all I say. Just do better because you know better. But if you
Mm.
don't do better one day, don't worry because you were conditioned to be exactly how you are. And that's it.
Dope, 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 dope. Y'all see how we do when we pop up? Y'all see how we do when we pop up? Lashay Taylor, thank you, thank you, thank you for popping up with me. We got to do this again. We got to do this again because I want to get into a lot of more things that I know you can discuss and talk about. And I want to get a little more bold. I was like listening to you tonight. I got caught in listening a lot tonight, and I learned a lot tonight. One thing I learned tonight is that not only did I know this, but I felt it tonight. Perfection is a disease. Perfection is something that traps us. And in order to get out of that, you have to be yourself, family. And that's what you are definitely an example of. And I appreciate your time tonight.
You are very welcome. But thank you so much for having me on your platform, Bobby. I appreciate you.
Indeed, indeed. Follow Lashay Taylor, LashayTaylor.com, Lashay Taylor on Facebook, Lashay Taylor, no, Black Pineapple. Six black. Let me get that up there. So they can get your
Yeah, that's my Instagram. And my
Instagram.
YouTube.
Yeah, so y'all can follow her wherever she's at. And it's been a ball. And we're gonna come back and do it again. And fruit up till 5 next month.
Oh
Fruit
yeah,
up
I
till
mean,
5
I'm
next
fruit up
month.
till 5 every day, so.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So we definitely gonna get back on that before the fruit up till 5 too. So let me make sure I got that right on the is that how you spell it right there?
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. That's where IG, YouTube right there, TikTok. So make sure you hit her up, follow her, LashayTaylor.com. Thank you, Quinn. You have a wonderful night. Peace. So yeah, y'all know what it is, family. Pop up live. When we pop up, you never know what's gonna happen. We popped up with Lashay Taylor tonight. Y'all didn't even know that was coming. What a wonderful conversation. What a wonderful story. What a story of strength and taking control. You know what I'm saying? Like, can't you like I can vouch for that story right there. Like, that is what we call triumphing and becoming who you want to become and stop listening to whoever telling you who to be. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Fruit up till 5. Y'all see the basis of what her change was fruit up till 5. And we ain't gonna need, hey, we're gonna talk about that the rest of the month. Fruit up till 5. Join now. Do not miss the party. Do not miss the party. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And y'all have a wonderful night. Fruit up, family. Fruit up.